Right, enough of that intro crap. Let's get straight into the video. Now, I always said with this series that I will show the good and the bad aspects of building a cabinet. Well, as you can see, hit a problem here, so I'll let you watch it as it plays out.
Well, I thought that was too easy. I thought that was too much of a simple job. So, anyway, yeah, we got power going to the power supply for the monitor there. Switching on the power supply for the computer. But now, unfortunately, and I don't know why, when we try and short these two wires together to start the computer itself, we're getting nothing. So I don't know if I've maybe pulled something in the process of doing that soldering, or maybe I've blown the power supply somehow. Maybe I've soldered that wrong after all, although as we can tell that's getting a supply there. I don't know, so it's now something else I've got to fix before I can get on and continue with the software. Something's not right. A bit frustrating, really. It's a step back again. So a little bit of investigation needed. Something that I've done here has caused the issue. Never mind. Say live and learn, good and bad. I'll show it all. So I'm going to crack on now and waste loads of time trying to make out why my power supply is not working. I'll let you know how it goes. Well, I've rechecked my wiring and that all seems to be quite secure. I don't know, this little circuit board, is this some kind of current sensing device that going to detect currents being drawn from it and not switch it on? I can see, I don't know if you can make out in there's a little fuse, and from what I can tell the fuse is okay. Not really sure why it's not working, to be honest. Obviously I've pulled this about and there's like a little thing on the back here, which I'll probably yank that a bit too hard. I suppose really the easiest thing to do, I suppose, is to unsolder this, to remove the power connectors, and then see if the supply comes on, and go from there. A bit odd, a bit strange. Right, I've desoldered those wires. One thing I've noticed, I don't know if it's relevant, is that you see by the AC supply here, there's this little contact here. There's a little through hole that goes through the board. There's nothing on the other side. But what I've done, I've flowed the solder over there by mistake, and I've breached that. So I'm just going to get some solder wick, and I'm just going to remove that and clean all this up anyway. And then I'm going to put the power back onto the supply and see if that does anything. So still a little bit perplexed at this stage, but we're just sort of back working now. We're sort of, back. This is sort of reverse engineering to try and find out what has gone wrong. Have I blown it up? Yeah, no, I probably have. Right, okay, let's carry on. So there we go. I don't know if you can make that out. I've just used a little bit of solder wick and taken the wires off. So yeah, I'll give it a try with that lead disconnected, and hopefully it's all going to start. I can't see that I've blown the power supply really. Well, it's possible, I suppose. But if that then works, that's a good thing. But obviously my power management idea for the monitor will have to change, and in fact I'll probably have to unsilicon this, and it's well stuck down. It bloody well is stuck down as well. But I'll have to pull that up and maybe adjust all that, and might have to have a lead coming in with a little junction box or something. So yeah, a little bit more work involved there, but let's just hope anyway. Let's fingers crossed that this is going to boot up when I put the power back on. Oh, there you go, that's the lead completely disconnected now. So I've put the power lead back in, we are switched on, and now we're going to have the moment of truth. So we're going to come around here, and I'm just going to flick the power switch on, and hopefully I'm really hoping that I haven't blown that power supply. I don't really want to have to send off for another one. It's quite a nice supply as well. So come on, fingers crossed, all you guys that are watching, fingers crossed for old Fred here, because this is going to be a moment of truth. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang. Nothing. Shit. Oh no, got no power. Oh, that's a bloody... Okay, right, oh, hang on, I suppose... Hang on, I've got enough. I'm going to have to short the wires, aren't I? Whew, might get a moment of second chance. Right, hang on, short the wires. Bit difficult with one hand. Come on, Fred, come on. And got... Come on. No. Nothing. Right, so it's a bit odd. I don't know if I'll include this on the video actually, because this is kind of like going to take a while. Basically, when I have this socket pulled out and removed, I switch on the power, the computer boots, everything works. When I put it back, can't get any response, which seems to indicate that maybe by me pulling this up and down, I have disturbed something on the board, loose connection, something like that. It's annoying, it's frustrating, it's holding me back. I've got to take this off anyway because I want to move it all around now for my different power sort of management system. So I think I'm going to take this off, and I've got to take the power supply apart and see if I've done any damage to the wiring when I've been pulling that. So yeah, one of those things, isn't it? I just want to get on with the software today really, but now I've got to fiddle about with the power supply. So a bit boring for you guys and girls, but it's got to be done. Right, as you can see, I've tore the power supply out. Yeah, I'm frustrated, guys, to be honest. You know, I'm going backwards at the moment. So this was the bit that I was fiddling with, wasn't it? You can see my bodged soldering there. I put a lot of pressure on this. That's just an earth wire. So you've got two feed supplies here. Can you see that? I don't know. Hang on, I'm going to zoom in. I'm not going to touch that. Just give me 2 seconds. Can you see that? Look at that. There you go. That's loose. So me pulling that around has broken the connection there, which couldn't have been very good to start with. Now the question is, alright, it's going to be fairly easy just to resolder that, but was that the reason why it didn't work when I connected my solder connection there for the power supply for the monitor, or was it basically freaking out this board? So I think I need now to reflow this one. It's got a slight burn on there, obviously just been shorting, so reflow that one, and then I can maybe just try my original idea and see what happens. So okay, it might not be as bad. Right, okay, moment of truth. We've redone that wire. We really be careful what I touch here, otherwise this will be the last time you see old Fred. Keep your eye on, can you just maybe see through the wires there, that mouse there? That little LED mouse. If that comes on, when I do the switch, yay, check it out. See that? Fantastic. Right, so that means that the power supply is now working. Next thing is, why I've got this stripped down, is just to piggyback my 2 wires back onto those connections again. Be a little bit careful because I've noticed there's a couple of really meaty caps there. I don't want that to feed back. That all should be low voltage, that. So piggyback my 2 monitor wires on and then retry the thing again. It could have been that was the problem all along. That wire was just not very well soldered and I just put it under too much tension when I pulled it forward. So let's move on with stage 2. Now for the second time we've just literally tacked those monitor connect wires just onto the back of that board. It's getting a little bit messy, that job now, unfortunately. So we're just going to give that a try, and if it won't boot up then we know that isn't going to work, and we can safely say that it was not the wire there in question. So let's just quickly give that a go. Right, this is going to be Failure live and direct on the Fred in the Shed channel. Oh dear. Sorry if this is boring the arse off you. Right, I'm going to go round and switch the power on, and I can't see any of this happening, so you're going to be first to see what's going on. Things to look for, yeah? On the monitor power supply brick here, just there, I want to see that green LED come on, and then on this mouse, I want the LED on that to come on. If they both come on at the same time, the fan won't go round because I've disconnected that, but if they both come on at the same time, it means we have a success. If they don't, then I'll have to go back and disconnect those wires. Right, I'll be off camera, so I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what's happening. Okay, I'm round the back. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang! What have we got? Yay! I got both are working. Oh, fantastic! You didn't shout loud enough. I didn't hear you. Okay, this is where I don't touch anything, because everything's live here. But as you can see, both LED on there and LED in there is working, and the computer, I know, will boot now. I'm not going to boot it. So, okay, I'm going to switch the power off. Just bear with me a sec. I guess one of the advantages of having to rectify that fault there on the wire was what I was able to put in a much better earth connector straight onto the board, other than trying to piggyback it on the bottom of the circuit board. So what have I learned? What am I taking away from this? Well, I think obviously what I should have done was strip this down in the first place and work from inside the box, instead of trying to be like a, I don't know, like a gynecologist or something and try and work through a little tiny aperture. And obviously by doing that I broke that connector, but then that connector really couldn't have been all that strong to start with. So it's one of those jobs, isn't it? It's one of those jobs that, you know, you start off with the best intentions and you end up spending probably best part of 2 hours going around in circles because something completely different had failed, and you go back and test your own work. But now, you know, I can move on now, put all this back together. Obviously I'm going to have to re-silicon it down again. That's the only thing I've really lost. And then I can get on with the software and get that installed. So a bit frustrating. You know, these things happen unfortunately with jobs. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? But as I say, now we can go ahead, pull this back together, and we can move on. Well, what an ordeal that was. Jeez, that was an ordeal, wasn't it? You know, well, there you go. You can see that I've now back to where I started from. I've got the computer there running, but actually no, I am further forward because I do now have the monitor and the motherboard all on the one power lead connection. That's what I wanted to get. I didn't really want to have to do all that soldering and all that ripping apart, but that's how it goes sometimes. So there you go. This video, I'm going to have to end this video now because it's gone on way too long. I'm going to be banging on the 20-minute mark, and I really try and bring him in under 15 minutes. So I do apologise if you've, you know, if you got a bit bored with that. I say these videos, I do show all the good and the bad sort of parts of the build. Just a little bit of a heads up for the next video. Next week I'm going to start on the controllers, which is all of the arcade tactile buttons, bags of micro switches here. I've got to wire all these in. I know, it's bad, isn't it? They do come sort of, you know, pre-wired, if you like. Semi. It's just a question of trying to work all this out, and I got loads of them, absolutely loads of them to do. USB connectors here. Also the little USB board, controller boards, which I've heard are a little bit fiddly to set up. Yeah, and this build's going that way and everything's getting a bit kind of like complicated. So that's all going to be next week. Won't be doing any more today. I'll let you all go because you've been here far too long. So I'd just like to say thank you for sticking with this video if you've done the full stint. Yeah, you know, sorry it got a little bit boring there trying to work out those problems, but that's what it's like when you do one of these builds yourself. Always show the good bits, always show the bad bits. So a big thumbs up from Fred in the Shed. Cheers, thanks for watching. If you want to see this through to the end, subscribe to the channel, and updates will be hopefully one a week. If I ever do get any more time, I'll try and get 2 a week, but I think it'll stick at 1 a week for now. So that's it for now. Cheers, thank you very much guys, and I'll catch you next week on the next video. Bye for now.